everyone says, well, you should be harmless, virtuous. You shouldn't do anyone any harm. You should sheath your competitive instinct. You shouldn't try to win. You know, you don't want to be too aggressive. You don't want to be too assertive. You want to take a back seat and all of that. It's like, no. Wrong. You should be a monster, an absolute monster, and then you should learn how to control it.
Are you enjoying this life?
Yes. Since I decide I wanna go this way of the warrior, of a true man, to feel the true power and take it to my life and live with that, not just to feel that and go away, but to keep it in a daily life. Yes, I'm enjoying that, but I didn't in the time right now. I can say it right now. I didn't expect it will cost you everything. Like it will cost you your old personality, and you will reborn like a new personality.
I've always been interested in martial arts, but I've always been reluctant to fight, and I would do anything not to. Does that make me less of a man?
Most men have in their personality some level of interest of fighting, right? We wrestle, we box, we scrap as kids. Look at the UFC, right? Why is the UFC so popular right now? Because it's fighting, and we have that. I read the other day, that's a $7 billion organization. There's a lot of people watching those fights. Mm-hmm. So while I don't think the desire to fight is inherent in all men, right? I'm sure there's men out there that are not into it at all, but I think it's definitely a pretty strong part of many men. Now, do I think that being reluctant to fight makes you less of a man? No, actually, I think it's fine. You should be reluctant to fight. I think everyone should be reluctant to fight. There's a lot of bad things that can happen in a fight. A lot of bad things. You know, first of all, you can get hurt, right? That's bad. You can get seriously hurt. You can get killed. You can get punched one time, fall down, hit a curb, and die. Mm-hmm. You can think you're going to get in a fair fight with someone. They can stab you in the neck and kill you, right? These things can happen. Even if it's not that bad, you can hurt someone else. Now you're getting lawsuit. Now you're getting put in prison, right? So there's all kinds of bad things. So being reluctant to fight is actually a good thing, and it's something that men should have. And actually, the more you know about fighting, the more reluctant you will be. The more I actually knew about fighting, the more reluctant I became to fight, because I realized all the risks that are involved. Part of that was maturity, sure, but the reality is you look at someone and you go, I don't know who that person is. So you should be reluctant to fight. That's a good thing. Now, that being said, I do recommend that you are prepared to fight. I definitely recommend that. And there's going to be a big dichotomy here I'm going to get to, but you should know some basics, right? You should understand threats. You should know how to contend with other people. You know, you should know some boxing. You should know some wrestling. You should know some Muay Thai. You should know some jiu-jitsu for sure. Because here's the dichotomy. This is a big dichotomy, and think about it. It's 100% true. This individual says he would do anything not to fight. Let me tell you, the best thing you can do as a human so that you don't have to fight is actually learn how to fight. That is the best way to not have to fight, is if you know how to fight. If you know how to fight, people aren't going to want to fight you. You don't even have to say anything. They can tell. You can tell when you meet somebody. You can tell if that person, if you're ready to fight, people don't want to fight you. The more eager you are to fight, the less people want to fight you. If you don't know how to fight, and bullies, because that's what we're talking about, bullies see that you don't want to fight, guess who they're coming after? You. Now guess what? Now you have to fight. But if you know how to fight, you have that confidence and you have that understanding, you become a threat to the people that want to fight you. You become a threat to them just by your knowledge alone.
You know, a lot of martial arts concentrate on exactly that as part of their philosophy of training. It's like, we're not training you to fight. We're training you to be peaceful and awake and avoid fights. But if you happen to have to get in one, and I guess the philosophy also is that if you're competent at fighting, that actually decreases the probability that you're going to have to fight, because when someone pushes you, you'll be able to respond with confidence, and with any luck, and this is certainly the case with bullies, with any luck, a reasonable show of confidence, which is very much equivalent to a show of dominance, is going to be enough to make the bully back off. And so the strength that you develop in your monstrousness is actually the best guarantee of peace. That someone who is incapable of cruelty is a higher moral being than someone who is capable of cruelty. And I would say, and this follows Jung as well, that that's incorrect, and it's dangerously incorrect, because if you are not capable of cruelty, you are absolutely a victim to anyone who is. And so part of the reason that people go watch anti-heroes and villains is because there's a part of them crying out for the incorporation of the monster within them, which is what gives them strength of character and self-respect, because it's impossible to respect yourself until you grow teeth. And if you grow teeth, then you realize that you're somewhat dangerous, or maybe somewhat seriously dangerous, and then you might be more willing to demand that you treat yourself with respect and other people do the same thing. And so that doesn't mean that being cruel is better than not being cruel. What it means is that being able to be cruel and then not being cruel is better than not being able to be cruel. Because in the first case, you're nothing but weak and naive. And in the second case, you're dangerous, but you have it under control.
By dangerous, that implies I should be ready to threaten someone, to hurt somebody.
No, you should be capable of it. But that doesn't mean you should use it. There's nothing to you otherwise. Like if you're not a formidable force, there's no morality in your self-control. If you're incapable of violence, not being violent isn't a virtue. People who teach martial arts know this full well, right? If you learn a martial art, you learn to be dangerous, but simultaneously you learn to control it. Both of those come together. And the combination of that capacity for danger and the capacity for control is what brings about the virtue. Otherwise you confuse weakness with moral virtue. I'm harmless, therefore I'm good. It's like, no, that isn't how it works. That isn't how it works at all. If you're harmless, you're just weak. And if you're weak, you're not going to be good. You can't be, because it takes strength to be good. It's very difficult to be good. If you're harmless, you're not virtuous. You're just harmless. You're like a rabbit. A rabbit isn't virtuous. It's just can't do anything except get eaten. It's not virtuous. If you're a monster and you don't act monstrously, then you're virtuous.
Bad for fighting is when you really realize we are fighting each other, and right now I'm going to hurt other person, and you don't see really the difference between you and him. So you know you are doing to yourself. But this is the game what we chose,
Right.
and we are here to live this experience.
To live this experience, and an extreme experience that will teach you about yourself like no other experience.
That's right.
If you want to learn about yourself, go fight.
People who haven't integrated the shadow at all are naive. And you can tell that when you look at them, and you can tell that when you talk to them. And because they're naive, they're often resentful as well, because they get taken advantage of. And someone who's integrated that more, they're dangerous in the martial arts sort of way, which is they're dangerous, but they don't have to use it, because their presence radiates implicit potential for havoc, and that's really necessary. It's one of the things that gives people self-respect. It's very helpful for people to hear that they should make themselves competent and dangerous and take their proper place in the world, because it's the alternative to being weak. And weak is not good. You have to be powerful and formidable and then peaceful, in that order, right? And that's not the same as being naive and weak and harmless, which is what young men are being encouraged to be. It's like, that's a very bad idea. It's a very bad idea. And life is a very difficult process, and you're not prepared for it unless you have the capacity to be dangerous. That doesn't mean that you should be cruel. It doesn't mean any of that. There's a statement in the New Testament, the meek shall inherit the earth. But the meek isn't well translated. It means something more like, those who have swords and know how to use them but keep them sheathed will inherit the world. That's a way better way of thinking about it.
Hold your head down and tell the other, I'm the winner. you know, this is my ego wants this, but the way to this there is, but still in some humble way to show it like peacefully, show it like
show violence peacefully. Yeah,
that's it.